welcome to the new episode of Pick and Talk, official podcast of basketball club Red Star. This is the first episode in English because our guest today is an American player, Mr. Jordan Loyd. I'm your host, Ivan Minic.
My name is Milan Dozit.
And today we are talking to a hero of this very unusual season. Today with us is Mr. Jordan Loyd. Welcome, Jordan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You've been a big part of the team this season and a big fan favorite, firstly because of your skills, but also because of your attitude and behavior on and off court. Mm-hmm. What would be your message to fans?
Well, I knew kind of going into it, even right when I signed in the summer, that, it was a lot of love. They sent messages, until the day I arrived. And I just kind of pride myself on being a just honest but good guy on and off the court, because I think that translates to winning and building good, team chemistry. So I knew the role that I would have here, and I knew it was going to be a big role, and I was ready for the task. And the fans, they made me feel so welcome, nothing but positive energy. And, it's been a tough season, and they've stuck with us. And it's been pretty cool. Just every day you can get on social media and people are still reaching out and saying they love you. So it makes you want to keep playing hard.
This season was hard for everyone. How was it for you because of all this COVID situation and players in and out? And
yeah, it was a lot of things, players in and out, coaches changes. But like I said, I just kept a positive mind. We had a good core group of guys, and as long as you're playing basketball, I'm happy, honestly. So with the Corona situation, I was just excited that there was a season. At first, looking back last year, we were like, we didn't know if we'd be able to play. So just being able to play this year was good.
From the beginning, you thought that the season will go on, that you will still play, or?
I was a little skeptical because of my situation in Spain. It was bad. I was in my apartment for like 2 months, and then we ended up finishing our season over there. And then I was like, there's no way there's going to be a season at the end of 2020. And then, of course, they brought out the regulations. The EuroLeague made it happen, and all the clubs came together. So I was just excited to play. I was pretty happy about that.
It was a complicated situation beginning of the season. Many games were canceled, many games were postponed. Mm-hmm. It was tough to plan anything ahead with this kind of schedule, with this many games, mm-hmm. and all the complications traveling around. It's tough on people. You prepare for something, and sometimes even a couple of hours before the game it gets canceled or postponed for some reason. Yeah. How was it for you?
For me, it was okay because I'm kind of used to having to adapt and be ready for whatever, just because of my past. I've been a two-way player, and some days you play a G League game and then you fly at night and got to help the team out with an NBA game or practice. So I'm able to adapt, but it's different. The guys are different, and you have to be able to adjust. You prepare for a game and it doesn't happen, and then wait. You don't know when the reschedule is, but then you have a EuroLeague game 2 days later, so you got to prepare for that and switch gears, and it was a lot. It was a lot.
Well, let's use this opportunity to fans to get better. So when and how did you start with the basketball? Your father was a basketball coach. You are from the basketball family?
I am. We're a big basketball family. Sometimes I got to tell my mom and dad to watch something else. They always trying to watch basketball. But I started at a young age, and then my dad, he basically helped create an AAU team, which is like a travel team back in the States, and he ended up coaching me all the way through high school, basically.
So he pushed you from the beginning? From the
beginning, he pushed me. It was that tough love. I kind of had that I don't know how to say it. Like, he was a little tougher on me than he was other guys, but I liked it because, there was no handouts. You had to, if you could play, you could play. If you couldn't, you sit, So, but that kind of built, I guess, a lot of character in me, and starting at a young age, I had that good foundation for sure.
Your sister is younger or older?
She's older. Than you? She's a couple years older than me, but she played.
So she was beating you? She
was beating me until I got taller than her. Then it changed a little bit, but she could play. But I used to joke with her. She would always go out there and just foul. And then I look at it this year, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I average a lot of fouls myself, but so yeah, we got a basketball family for sure.
Your first introduction to Serbia wasn't when you came to the club. You had some previous knowledge about the situation here, the love for basketball, the tradition and everything. When that happened?
Actually, in college, there was a couple guys, Milos and Nikola. They were at University of Indianapolis with me, only for about, I'll say, a semester or two. And I didn't know much. I never knew much about Serbia, but
and also Vanja Marinkovic from Valencia, right?
I was gonna get there. Yeah, Vanja. He's the one who kind of opened my eyes more to it, because I didn't know much about it, like I said, but he told me about the city. Then when we came up here to play,
the nightlife. No,
he didn't tell me much about nightlife. Vanya doesn't get out too much, actually. He's really laid back. But he told me about the city, and then when I heard about it, I had other guys that I talked to, Lorenzo, Ennis, guys that played here, and they were like, "Man, the city's great," and I would have never known that, But they were right. There's a lot of stuff to offer here. There's a lot to do. Even in the Corona situation, I've enjoyed the city.
And also last season you played here against us, right?
I played here. We lost at the buzzer, of course, to my boy Zoe. And we lost again this year as well. But anyway,
Marco is smiling. Look at him.
Yeah, I know. I see that, man. It was tough, man. The scoreboard went out for like an hour. The game was just weird. But
what about the fans?
Insane. We pulled up to the gym and they were in riot gear, and I'm like,
you were surprised?
Oh, what? I was like, I took my phone out. I started like videotaping them. I was like, what the heck is this? Like they had their shields and like formation. I'm like, are we still going to the gym? Like, so it was a crazy atmosphere, and it was a cool experience.
Who was the most important coach in your career? Besides your father?
Man. Yeah, besides my father, that's tough, because I have two come to mind. Either my high school coach, David Boyd, or my college coach, Stan Gerard. Both of those guys they were like mentors, second and third fathers. You can talk to them about anything, come to them about anything. They taught me a lot, on and off the court. So I would go with both of those guys, just different times in my life, different ups and downs, but they were both, and I still talk to them today. I can call them. We talk just about every other week with both of them. So Coach Boyd, my high school coach, is on Twitter all the time tweeting at me. He's older, but he's on Twitter all the time. So he's tweeting at teams. I'm like, all right, coach, you got to chill out a little bit. But he's amazing, man. And I'm just happy to have great, legendary coaches like those guys, man.
You had a good run during your college years, and you still went undrafted for NBA, but ended up playing NBDL now, the G League. What were your expectations coming to draft?
I knew I wasn't going to get drafted. I knew I had no chance of that. But I knew I was learning a little more about Europe, learn a little bit more about the D League. And honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do. And me being in Indianapolis was really the only reason I got a draft workout. And some guy had dropped out. Basically, they needed somebody to like fill the spot. And, I knew I wasn't going to get drafted no matter how well I did. And, there was no draft stock on me or anything, but I played well enough for their D League team to be like, hey, this guy could maybe make our team. And that's literally how it started. So I think until my junior or senior year, I realized, okay, I got a chance to make some money playing ball, play professionally, and I was going to try it. So that was my mindset.
So was the decision to move to Israel hard for you at that time? Totally different continent, basketball, everything.
It was, but it wasn't at the same time, because like throughout my childhood, my family moved around a few states, and I've had to again adapt. So that's kind of been my thing. But I was really just excited to my first year overseas, and I've heard a lot of good things about the Israeli league. And
Wait, you were down there in a small city.
I was in a small city a lot,
near the Egypt border, right?
Near Egypt and Jordan. So I was like kind of right in that point of the triangle, but it was a great city. It was like a little resort town. It was a great place for any.
That was vacation for you?
Yeah, basically, it's like any. It was a great place for any American to go. And when you hear Israel in America, they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" No, we don't know about it, and it's because we're ignorant to the fact that there's a lot more than the United States. A lot of great things out there, and it was a great spot for me. Definitely a great first spot.
You played NBDL. You played G League. A couple of years later, a couple of things changed through time. What was your experience with that? Because there are a lot of players from over here trying out there.
Yeah.
Not many get a chance to join NBA team. And the feedback has been different from people, the expectations and everything. When you get a chance to watch these games, usually you watch the highlights.
Right.
Everything is only about offensive basketball. There are no defenses
right. It's
or anything. What was it like for you?
So what was it like to like get a chance in the league?
Yeah. What was the experience with the NBDL and G League overall?
For me, it was great. It was everything because one, that's all I really had coming out of school. And it was what I was used to. I grew up watching the NBA. But now being in Europe, you just see how different the game is. And, you see guys like Luka, Campazzo, they go over there and they talk about how different the game is. And it really is. But I had a great experience. I had to, in the G League, I had to first make the team, even though you get drafted. I think it was like 3rd or 4th round or something like that. You get drafted, but then you have to make the team. So once I made
What does it mean? How many players is there?
It's only 10 guys on a G League roster. So you have to make that 10. And then once...
Even if you're drafted?
Yeah. So it's like, there's nothing guaranteed there. So I had to make the team, which was really excited I did that. And then I basically was like a backup point guard for most of the year. And then our starting point guard, he ended up coming to Europe. So I had a good chance to play. So you have to have a little luck, because you can make a team and not play, and then the season's kind of a wash, So I had a good opportunity to play, and then obviously like the NBA has been my goal, since I was a kid. So 2-way contract with the Raptors was like a no-brainer for me, and that was a.
Tell me something. What does it mean, 2-way contract? That means that in a contract you have 2 amounts of money. Depends if you're playing.
Nah. So basically, is you just look at it like you spend half the season in G League and half the season in NBA. Basically,
and they can call you up
whenever they want, and then for the playoffs, you're not active, but you're on the roster. You're just not on the active roster. So they just knew. They just started this like 3 years ago or something like that. But for me, it was like, you got a little foot in the door in the NBA, I'm taking it, like that's, and it turned out to be hell of a season, won the championship, right place, right time, was around a bunch of great guys.
Explain me before that, Darushafaka, you signed a contract and...
Signed that, and then, that was a weird process because I had to get out of that contract and was able to take some money from me and my family.
So actually
had to pay out my own buyout, and then was able to, and it paid off. Like I said, they were able to go to Toronto because that was an amazing year. I played amazing in the G League, played in like 12 or so games in the NBA, which is something I always dreamed of. And
so basically your contract was binding, and there wasn't a clause saying that
at the time,
if you go into NBA, exactly, you can break out the contract.
And me at the time, looking back, it was really stupid of myself. But at the time, you don't know. I'm new coming up. This is like my second or third, and I'm just like, I don't know much about contracts. The people that I was working with at the time, they were like, oh yeah, we'll get you out. And of course, that's not how it works. It has to be, it has to be in writing, but like I said,
at the time you didn't have the right agent.
Basically, yeah, it was tough situation for me. But me and my family were all learning. It's not something I'm sure guys go through it all the time. It's new, the whole agency business, contracts. It's all different, But as you get older, you get more experience, you hear more stories, and you get better at it.
Yeah, I think that all these things get more complex over time.
For sure.
The contracts 20 years ago were not like this.
Of course.
And the opportunity was completely different.
For sure.
You played Summer League a couple of times. Again, it's something that's people are familiar with it here, but they don't really know how it works and what's the experience.
Summer League is great. I mean, it's tough though. It's a bunch of guys that are fighting for like
up and down.
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of guys shoot. But they're going hard. I mean, you're fighting for 2 spots maybe on a team, maybe not non-guaranteed deals, maybe. It's tough, but it's a grind, man, because you get to go out there and really showcase what you can do. But it's a lot of guys on the team. It's like 16, 17 guys on a roster. You got guys promised this and that. You got, it's affiliates from the year before. So it's a lot. But I enjoyed Summer League. I think I've done 3 of them. All with the Toronto Raptors and then one with the Pacers. But it was a good experience.
How was it organized?
It's basically just like a tournament style. So it's like group play, and then you play a bunch of different teams, and then if you've won your group, you move to the next, round. It's kind of like it is out here. And then everybody's like kind of in a hotel. The whole team you're getting vans, you go out, and you have probably like 5 minutes to warm up for the game because there's a game right before you, and then you play, and then that's it. And then you practice at this little old gym that everybody goes to. But it's a cool atmosphere, but the structure is like a lot of people coming to watch, from all over the country.
And the teams, they usually feature players they're considering for that season.
Draft,
also
so it's always
youngsters.
draft picks, people that they're either guaranteed training camp spots, people from, like I said, the year before that were maybe rookies or something that that can keep playing and need to play, and then guys like myself who you either did a draft workout and they invite you to summer league, or basically you just have to get an invitation of some sort as a player.
Like Pokoshevsky this season, he played a couple of games.
It's right for OKC, huh?
And then he's starting 5 in the NBA team, right?
Yeah.
Next game.
Yeah, so it just depends on the situation, for sure.
When you got a chance to sign with the Toronto, of course it was a dream come true.
Yeah,
basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you work on your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Even if it's Canada.
Even if it's Canada. I was like, I still found a way to be out the United States in the NBA. I was like, still.
But what were your expectations coming into that season?
Man, looking back, I didn't even have any because I was just so excited just to be in that position. And then I just wanted to learn as much as I could from the players that were going to be around me, like, Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, Greg Monroe. I can go on, Danny Green. There's a bunch of guys. And so I just had the mindset of like, hey, just be around these guys, hang out, see what they do. Put in a lot of, guys like me at the end of the roster, we put in a lot of extra work, like in the gym. We had to really go that extra mile, even though you're not playing. And that built more of a work ethic for myself. So really it just was like, just better yourself, be a part of like a great organization, and then in the G League, like just kill. That was my mindset. And then if you get an opportunity in the NBA, take advantage of it. But it was definitely a little more stressful than I'm making it seem right now. First year, like getting a chance like that. So, but I enjoyed it.
What do you mean getting a chance? You get a championship.
I got a ring. That's what I'm saying. It's just like right place, right time. I don't think anybody saw us winning a ring that year.
Tell us something about that the end of that season, about the last shot. About
that's gonna live on forever, man. The doggone picture that I see every day still, people send it to me like I haven't seen it.
Wait, on that last shot, you were never closer than the guy who is jumping to block that shot. Right?
I don't know how I got so close, like on the floor. Like I really don't know. I really don't remember. Like when he
received the ball somewhere here.
Yeah, and he ended up here
all the way, and he shot out of balance.
He went out about and then
the ball didn't came right away.
It did.
It was jumping.
The crazy part about that is like in those rims in our arena, it's like the worst. They're hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you shoot, it's like boom, everywhere, flying everywhere. And then so when it happened, the shot, I was like, that's weird, man, but I just don't know. I don't know how. It was just such a crazy situation, man.
Explain us the random guy in a suit.
Oh yeah, so the backstory behind that is basically,
the famous picture.
After the picture came out on ESPN, they had this lady, and she was like, "But look at this picture, She's like, you got Kawhi Leonard, you got Embiid, and then you got
Men in Black." Yeah,
she was like some random guy in the suit, because nobody knows who I am, obviously. So I was like, okay, I didn't care because people don't know who I am, and that's fine with me. Like, I'm pretty low key. But after we won, I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. So I'm like, I had a shirt made, like simple black shirt, random guy in a suit, and then like at the parade, it just took off, which I didn't think people would be looking at me at the parade, but I guess they were. And then so that took off, and then now it's like. And I know I could play basketball, so it was better for me. It was more so like a little play on them, because like I know I can hoop, but it's like I'm the random guy in the suit, but I can hoop, So I had fun with it. It blew up a lot more than I thought it would. Trust me, I didn't think it would be viral and all this other mess. So yeah.
Last season you came to Europe, and you played your first EuroLeague season. with Valencia. And what can you tell us about your first EuroLeague season, ACB League? Can you compare the ACB League to Adriatic League?
Yeah, it's a little different. I will say the ABA is definitely a little more physical, but you know the Spanish league, man, there's just skilled players everywhere. You know, from 1 through 5, like every night you're playing a team that's really, really good. You know, top to bottom in that league in Spain is pretty tough. You know, I have to say it's probably one of the better leagues in Europe. But yeah, it was a great experience my first year at EuroLeague. You know, the system over there in Valencia is like we had 14 guys and 14 guys could play, and you never kind of knew your role, your situation. It just kind of depended on the game. So you had to kind of just wait your turn. We had a lot of guys that could play, like I said, and coach put you out there, and then you try to produce. So for me, it was great just to travel around Europe and all these new countries that I'd never been to and see all the amazing fans and play. And we had a solid team. You know, unfortunately, Corona was obviously happened, but I enjoyed myself. I learned a lot. You know, Spain, playing in Spain is a little different. You know, it's
great city to live. Valencia
is an amazing city right by the beach, great weather, so I can't complain about it. Like I said, I got lucky with the spots that I went to overseas, but yeah, it was a great league, tough, like I said, but it really shows that, you know, if you can play or not. So
the EuroLeague was stopped, but the Spanish championship was, let's say, postponed for a couple of months, and then they decided to make a tournament to finish, and the tournament was held in Valencia, which was kind
great.
of nice.
That was nice.
But it's a unique situation. You don't get a chance to live through these situations many times in life. And how was it for you? You mentioned in the beginning of our podcast that you were basically locked in your apartment for 2 months.
You were there by yourself?
I was by myself.
Tough.
Yeah, it was like I was close to breaking. Yeah, I was close to leaving. But you know, I had great people in my circle that talked me off the edge. You know, I didn't think lockdown was going to be like, I don't think anybody did. Nobody thought it was going to be, you know, as long as it was. And we had to literally stay, I say, close to 60 days. You can go to the grocery store and that's it. So, man, I did a lot of stuff I don't normally do, like reading, writing, stuff I don't really normally do. Spent a lot of time outside, a lot of time on the phone, and just trying to keep in touch with everybody back home and stay sane, because that much time in an apartment by yourself is like, it's pretty rough. But, you know, I look back at it and it was like, it just made me a lot tougher mentally. So, you know, whatever happens, like going forward, I know I'll be ready for it, you know, because if you can get through that and that situation, and I mean, I'm seeing stuff on Twitter like, hey, if you're overseas, come home. If you're American, you won't be let back in the States. You know, I'm thinking like, be a year or two before they let, you know, I don't know what's going on, but it was a little dramatic then. But it was a hell of a situation, man. Like it was tough.
What was it like on your body and your fitness and everything?
Well, I will say Valencia did a good job, because right as before we went into lockdown, they brought like a bike, you know, stationary bike, some weights, bands, different stuff that we could work on in the house. But obviously it's not the same as practicing. And for me, it was different because I was coming off a stress fracture. So I had been out from January until right as I was coming back, Corona started in March. So I was, I guess, more time to heal, which is a good thing. But then when I came back and started practicing in May, it was tough. You know, there was a lot. You know, they were like, your blood pressure's a little high. I'm like, yeah, been in my apartment for 2 months, you know. But I ended up having a solid tournament. You know, body was okay. I was just happy to be able to finish, you know, just from start to finish. You can look back like, hey, you know, that was really cool to be able to live through that and then play ball at the end.
This season you are in the top 3 scorers in EuroLeague, the top scorer of our team. What can you tell us about that? Obviously you're feeling great here.
Yeah, I mean, like I knew going into the season I was going to have a you know, big time role here, and that's something I was really excited about. But I mean, I just got to give credit basically to my teammates first, you know, putting me in position, and my coaches putting me in position as well, because it's it's a whole team thing. One person can't do it by themselves. But I think it's a pretty cool achievement to be one of the top scorers of the club and the EuroLeague. I didn't foresee I didn't really have that as a goal. I just knew I had a lot to prove this year.
What you're talking about last night, you shot somewhere from 10 meters.
Well,
I'm not pushing my shots, but I'm shooting 9 meters.
Yeah, sometimes the shot clock was going down. You gotta look at the shot clock, man. The shot clock was going about 4 or 5 seconds. But yeah, I'm confident in my game. Believe it or not, in the summer I work on stuff like that. Like shooting from long range shots that might seem crazy. It's things that me and my trainer kind of work on, and things that you never know you might have to use in a game. So it's a little different approach, but you got to be smart with it as well. Can't just be out here doing crazy stuff. So
watching what Steph Curry and Lillard are doing right now, nothing seems crazy.
Well, those guys, and that's what's amazing. Those guys are doing it at a consistent high rate, and it's just like, that's next level. Like, that's big time. But everybody wants to strive to do stuff like that, but that's why they are who they are.
I had the chance a couple of years ago to watch both of them in practice before a game, and even at that time Steph was coming off an injury, so he wasn't playing the game, but he was warming up. And it's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, man. And if people saw like the way their warm-up, like Steph's warm-up is literally a show. So like people would come early to just watch his warm-up, the way he dribbles the ball.
Money for just
for that. I mean, the guy is like, people have no idea how talented those guys have to be to do that every night, man. So he's and then I think recently Steph is like, he just did something last night crazy. I think 11 threes in 3 quarters or something like that. So it just shows the talent at the top of the NBA is crazy.
Yeah, and most of those threes, when you look at the shot chart, most of those threes are not just regular really threes.
No, they're right as he crosses the line, and not much defensively you can do for that. The game is changing. So yeah.
So last summer, when you decided to come to Belgrade, it was in the news. Not many people knew too much about you, but when I was talking to a couple of friends who are really hardcore basketball fans and are following the situation, they were all quite excited because you seemed to fit the profile of exactly what we needed, which turned out to be true. What were your expectations coming into the season?
I think firstly was I had so much, I think, that I left. Let me say it like this. Last year, there was a lot I didn't do, I believe. So I thought this was like like I talked to guys that played here, and it was a great opportunity, a great club to come play and really like level up, and be put in that position to play well and win some games. That's like the biggest thing. So my expectation was just to come here and really prove on the EuroLeague level, obviously the ABA level, and just show that like, hey, I'm a top player in Europe. And I believe that, but if you tell people that, they're just kind of like, oh, whatever. Everybody feels that way, but you got to be confident in yourself, but you have to be humble as well, and you just got to let all the talking, on the court. So my expectations was to come here, do that, win a bunch of games. We didn't really do that in EuroLeague. This year was tough. Really had hopes of
a lot of close games.
And that's the thing. I think I saw something. I don't know if it's true. 5 or 6,
right? Maybe
more, of like 2 or 3 possession games. Maybe if we had some fans, some of those would have been turned for sure. But that, I felt like at the beginning of the year we had a chance to make playoffs. We had good teams. We had a lot of underrated guys, including myself, and just kind of had that chip on your shoulder, that edge that I've always had my whole life. So that was kind of my expectations, just winning games and then proving to all those people that think you can't play, that you can play.
Who is your favorite teammate in Red Star and why?
Oh, man. That's a tough question. I'm gonna either go favorite teammate. My guy's gonna kill me.
Because on the court.
Off the court. I'm not even thinking locker room. Man, I'm gonna go with my boy Wap Reith Dula.
Why?
Well, I was, I'm really close with, Corey Langston, those guys as well. Usko. Me and Usko have a really good relationship. Like, we hang out, we talk. He reminds me of myself a little bit. So we're close. But Wap, I don't know, man. He just has that. He has that just aura about him. He's really positive. We can relate to a lot of similar things. He went to school in Louisiana, which is where I grew up, actually, and we actually ended up knowing quite a few people mutually. And I don't know, man. It's just something. Just talking to him is easy. We play video games. He's always trying to do something, go to the mall, eat. We just we click. Pretty well, and he's a good guy, man. He has such a good spirit, and I think all the guys here, the domestic guys, foreign guys, we have just a bunch of really good guys.
The coach, tell us something about our coach.
Oh man, where do I start with coach, man? Coach is really calculated in a really good way. Everything he does is predetermined, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but if he's hard on you, he knows that he's hard on you. If practice is tough, he knows practice is tough. If he's getting on you, there's a reason, and
sometimes he's acting like he's serious, but that
you never know. With him, like, he could be serious one time and then you'll think he's like kind of playing, but then he's serious. So it's like, all right, man, you gotta be locked in with him. But he's great, man. He puts me in positions to do well and play well, and we're all working to just be just positive, because it's been, like I said, it's been a tough season, but we have a lot we can do ahead of us, So we're all coming together, I think, at the right time. Won some close games lately, and coach is just putting that positivity that we need at the right time.
It seems like that as the season is progressing, things are falling into place. Mm-hmm. But right at the middle of the season, where the situation was quite tough, you had an infection. You were positive for COVID, and it's a quite complicated thing for everyone. It's different. How was it for you?
Yeah, it is. For me, I was fortunate. My recovery wasn't too bad. I think they made me wait an extra week, which was great by the club. They want to be cautious and take all the right measurements, which they did, which is awesome, because this is all new for everybody. But my recovery and stuff was fine. I think I came back Barcelona game or something like that at home, and I wasn't too tired coming back. I know some guys have told me right when they come back, they feel like they haven't played basketball in years, and people don't put that into consideration, that hey, once you get sick, you can be a little different afterwards, especially in the short term, because it takes time to recover. And that's what I told all the guys that got it after. I was like, hey, you're gonna feel out of rhythm, don't be hard on yourself, because you're gonna, right when you come back, you're like, I should be the same as I was, and that's usually not the case. I've heard of guys getting corona and then get tired walking, so, but fortunately for me, I was blessed to have a pretty easy recovery, and then kind of got back into shape not too shortly after.
The beginning of the season, in the first couple of games in EuroLeague, we had some good results, and you had some amazing games. You had a couple of 30-point games. How did it feel? It was new for everyone. The team was new, everything was new, and the situation was unprecedented.
Mm-hmm. I felt great. I mean, obviously, just it means way more winning, because it's like, yeah, you have a great game, but you lose, nobody cares. It's more like when you win and you can put together a good game and win, that's always better. So we felt really good, beating Baskonia, beating Ceska. Those are great wins. For me, though, the best part, I think, of the season, like the best win, was the win on the road in Madrid. I wasn't there, but I remember like watching that game at home. I was sick, but I was so excited, because like nobody thought we were going to win that game. Of course, we were losing. We had guys out, and we won that game, and I was so excited, man.
And we all remember, all the fans remember how you celebrated.
Oh man, like I remember like we had won the playoff series or something. Like I was so excited. I don't know why. I guess because I was helpless. Obviously couldn't do anything, but I was super excited. So that probably was the best part for me. Just seeing those guys, they were really happy too, and we needed it. Like that was, like we were, and then just to have a win like that on the road against such a good team, I think was really, really cool.
Like even now, you are one of top 5 or top 3 foreigners who played the best foreigners who played in Red Star. So next season we're gonna watch you in the same jersey, or what?
Tell
us something. Give us something.
That's the question, right? For me, I always say, like, you never know until you know, because like honestly, if you ask me after or when my season was over last year, I wouldn't know I would be sitting here, you know, playing at Red Star. So you really never know, and it took me a while to realize that. So when people ask me, where are you gonna be next year? I mean, I get messages every day, like, you know, and now I just kind of live day by day, because you can't, whatever's for you is for you, you know, whatever you planning or whatever you want to do usually doesn't work out that way. So you just kind of got to let it fall into place. And I've kind of learned that the hard way a little bit. So I wish I could give people more, because I really don't know. You know, we'll just obviously explore everything in the summer, and, you know, we'll see, we'll go from there.
For some odd reason, all of the people who were in our podcast until you had some really close relationship to dogs. Mm-hmm. So we know that in your case, it's the same story.
It is.
What's the story?
It is the same story. I have a dog. Her name is Amber. I was just showing him a picture of her earlier. And this is actually funny, because my mom is terrified of dogs. Like, she was attacked. I think.
So your dad bought the dog?
No, she's not. No, but she was attacked. I think walking to the school bus in like middle school or something. So ever since then, she's been terrified of dogs. And my sole purpose in life when I was younger was like, I have to get a dog. Like, I want a dog really bad. And then one day, me and my dad were at a grocery store, and then there was like a pet store next to it. And I was like, let's go look. You know, look at the dogs. And he had kind of hinted at possibly getting a dog, and we went over there, and there was like a box of puppies that were just found. And man, I picked one up, and I was like, look, like, how can we not get this dog? You know, he's like, your mom gonna kill me. I'm not gonna be able to sleep in the house, you know, all this stuff. Like, there's no way. And then one good look at Amber, and then he was like, God. So we got the dog. We got her at like, she was probably several weeks old, super small, you know. So it's like, there's no way my mom is scared. Of course. We bring her to the house, and she's just like, you guys did not do this. But fast forward to now, she's 13. She's a lot older now. She's slowing down. But my mom and her are like tight.
Yeah, we had a situation
mission completed.
When Nedovic was in the podcast, he had a similar story. He brought a puppy, mm-hmm. And mom was angry and everything, and he's like, and now she likes the dog more than me.
Yep, basically my mom will make sure she's fed, like everything.
What about other dogs? She's okay with other dogs also?
She's like, she'll see another dog and she'll be like, but for some reason, Amber, you know, but the thing is, Amber also knows, like, she'll kind of jump on other people, kind of walk up to them. When
she's not small.
She's big dog. When she sees my mom, she'll just wait. She doesn't, because she knows it's like, okay, like, yeah, I know you like me, but you don't like me that much, you know. So she's smart with it, you know, but yeah, they have a cool relationship now.
One thing we didn't ask, and I think it would be an interesting story to share, is that season you spent in Toronto. Mm-hmm. The team was good, and they had at the moment probably the best player in the league. Yep. But no one really expected to end this way. It was mm-hmm. a freakish season, to say the least.
It was.
What was the chemistry in the team? How did it build up? Because it's really once in a lifetime event, especially for NBA, where you basically, when you take a look last 20 seasons, there are no accidents like that.
That's true. I think once the trade happened, you know, there was a lot of buzz, you know, with Kawhi and Danny Green coming, which Danny Green was like a big piece of that as well. But the buildup was kind of like, okay, you know, the Raptors always make the playoffs, you know, so, but they always get LeBron, you know, LeBron kind of kicks them out every year. But this year, LeBron's on the other side, you know, so we're like, in the East, you know, there's Milwaukee, but then there's like, they're good, but are they that good, you know? And then, so, but the guys like Lowry, Ibaka, when Gasol came, I looked around, we just had a bunch of like experience, you know, in the locker room, like a lot. Even Jeremy Lin, who didn't play that much, he was there. We had a bunch of guys, and like the build-up, once we started winning, and we were, I think, almost first or second in the East, it was just kind of like, there's a real shot, you know, to make this happen, especially in the East. The East was wide open. So once the guys got a taste of that, and it was so cool to see because, you know, Lowry has like some horror stories in the playoffs. You know, he has like tough games and guys are hard on him. People are hard on him. And then for him to like play that game, what is it, game 6 that we won in Golden State, he played unbelievable. Like, and to see like the old Kyle Lowry and then the Kyle Lowry that was doing that was just really cool. And then guys like Fred VanVleet, who I'm pretty tight with, who emerged, Pascal Siakam, like nobody saw those guys emerge in the way they did. And I think that was like the icing. You know, you had guys step up and you just took advantage of it. Obviously, you got to get, I say, like, if you win a championship, you got to be healthy, lucky, obviously be able to play, and a little lucky, you know. So Golden State that's like some of the craziest basketball I ever watched with Klay Thompson, Curry, and then KD went down. You know, he came back. We were like, oh my gosh, like this team is not even real. And then he got hurt, which obviously you don't wish that on anybody. But that team at full strength is like unbelievable. You know, I think we still would have had a chance because like in the regular season we played them really well, but that team was crazy. You know, so it was cool just to see like, hey, no matter who they brought out there, they didn't care. Like KD can come back, they can bring LeBron on the team. Everybody had the mindset like we're gonna win this. You know, no matter what happens. And
off the court, Leonard, he talks.
Yeah. People always ask like, is he quiet? Does he say? I'm like, man, he's just like everybody. He jokes. He's just not with the
smile.
Yeah, he does all that. You said the smile for media day. Oh yeah. I don't know about his laugh. You gotta. I don't know about his laugh. That's a little different, man. But that was funny. I remember sitting in the locker room when that went. His laugh went like viral. We were like, who's going to tell him like that his laugh is all over the internet? And I was like, you know, not me, obviously, but
let's wait a couple of days.
Yeah, wait a few days. He's never even really on there probably. So yeah, that was it.
You had the taste of the NBA. You played, I think 12 games and there were a couple of playoff games as well. Do you expect to come back? Will you try to put your energy into that?
You know, it's always open because that's like I said, it's always a dream goal of mine. And I really feel like I can contribute, not just like make a team, but I feel like I can contribute at that level. So, you know, in the back of your mind, you telling yourself that, and it's more so about opportunity in the NBA. You know, if you're in the conversation, obviously you can play, but it's all about a team taking a chance on you and, you know, giving you the opportunity. But yeah, I always leave that door open. But, you know, if you have a good situation in Europe, I'm smart enough to know, hey, okay, you don't pass up something good as well. No matter how much you want to be home, no matter, you know, because, you know, you miss home a lot, you miss people, but you only play for so long, you know, so you got to take advantage, whether it be Europe, the NBA, you kind of just got to take what the best deal you can get. And I know guys that sit in the G League for 4 and 5 years and then do nothing. And then I knew guys that sit in the G League 4 or 5 years and it pays off. So it's to each his own. You know, everybody's situation is going to be a little different. But for me, I just tell myself, hey, I leave it open. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, you can't sit around and wait for it because that's not something I would want to do. But it's obviously my top priority anytime I look at it.
Who is Jordan Loyd without basketball, without court, without all that story?
Really goofy guy. Really like to have fun and be grateful and blessed for the smaller things in life. I like to really put a lot of emphasis on the smaller things and how fortunate, you know, without basketball, just to, you know, there's so much stuff going on in today's life. But I'm just somebody that's cool to be around, love hanging around family members, just enjoying the little things. Don't like to be in the spotlight too much, believe it or not. I try to be really low key. And I'm just a really big family guy, you know. That's
Janko, who is not here, he want to ask you about your car.
My car. Okay, yeah. The car that I haven't been able to really drive yet. So yeah.
So you bought it before you came?
Well, that's the thing. I bought it a long time ago, but with Corona, it was postponed. You know, they were making it in Germany, I guess. You know, that's where everything, the factory. So Corona postponed everything, and then.
Please tell him what car.
Porsche Panamera Gts.
Okay.
So that's been my. Actually, it's funny. I was looking at a video like 5 years ago, right when they came out with the car. I was like,
black one.
It's a gray, black wheels. I did everything, man. I was red seats. Like, I'm super excited about it. But then I get the car one day before I have to report here. So I had literally an afternoon with the car, and I was just at home. But it's
Why didn't you call us to say you need a couple more days?
I didn't want my first thing to be like, this guy wants a couple more days because of his car. Like, that's not important, man. You know, it'll be there when you get back. But yeah, so that's
actually my ex roommate Haris Mujazinovic, when he played in Valencia, he was reading a magazine and he saw M6 BMW.
Yeah.
So he ordered, he's from Indiana.
Okay.
He lives there. So he ordered the car, wait for 3 months, I think. And then he said to management that he needs some papers to finish about his passport in the States.
Oh, so
he flew there, drive his car for a couple of days and flew back.
And then flew back. Oh, that's true love there, man. As bad as I wanted to do something like that, I was like, oh, no, it's not worth it. But I would have had it at the beginning of summer, which I really didn't have a summer. I had like 4 or 5 weeks at home because of Corona. But
it's okay. Your sister is probably driving.
I hope not. Oh, man, with her track record, I don't know, man. Nah, I think it's so. I look forward to seeing it when I get back.
Thank you for sharing all the stories. Usually, we ask a couple of questions for regarding your previous life and of course Red Star history. A couple of them would make sense in this interview as well. If you could pick your starting 5 of your teammates, whether it's Red Star or previous clubs or NBA, who would you pick?
Oh, all the teammates.
5 guys from Raptors.
For sure. I'm not gonna do that because that's kind of that's tough. So all the people that I play with, got to start with Kawhi. Obviously, I mean that's kind of a no-brainer. I'm trying not to do all Toronto. Who would I? I'm gonna go.
Somebody without ring.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go with my boy Corey at the 1. Obviously, I gotta be at the 2, right? Okay, I'll do that at the 2. Kawhi at the 3. All right, let me get the bigs because that's always tough, man. My first year. Nah. I mean, I guess at the 4 you gotta go Ibaka, Gasol, but that's kind of. I try not to do Raptors, but I mean, what can I say? I mean, those guys are. I mean, yeah, or even Pascal. You could put Pascal at the 4 the way he was playing when I was there. But in Israel, I played with Alondo Tucker. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's a hell of a player too. He's like a kind of a 2-3. Who else stuck out to? I played with Julian Stone, who's a point guard, I think in Italy now. He played with Charlotte. He's like 6'7" point guard. He was a hell of a player. And yeah, so that would probably be my 5 if I had to go with that.
Yeah, it would be low.
Yeah.
Not too many high players.
How many balls on the court?
Fun.
There's only 1 ball, but that's okay. You know, I just get a ball to Kawhi, wait in the corner, man, and see what happens.
Run next to him.
Yeah. That's fine with me. I'm good with that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all you've done this season. But you have to know we expect,
of course,
more.
Of course.
It's been a tough ride. I believe it's been especially tough for someone who is not local. The whole season, everything that's going on with the pandemics and the waves and everything, and you can't, calm down even for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But you rise above the situation and you helped the team a lot so far. So there's a reason why all the fans have asked us to invite you to the podcast.
I appreciate that. That's really, I'm grateful for that. I'm really, really humbled by all the love, man, that I get. So it's pretty cool. I can only imagine, if we had the fans in the arena, how it would be. So we miss you guys, man. Yeah, I know. We miss you. So I appreciate it.
we all hope that there will be an opportunity when the whole thing calms down for you to play at least one season
Not
with
this
all the
season,
fans.
then the next season he playing Red Star, then
Hopefully.
So hopefully one time that would be great. I agree.
and we'll do another podcast with you.
Of course.
I'll be there.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for listening. See you all next week.